Ready? I would go outside and play in the dirt and eat some while I was out there, and then I'd come in for dinner and complain about the food. Hi, welcome. Come on in. We're talking about learning disabilities and maneuvering through life with them. Welcome to My Mom's Brain and Me. So I'd like to introduce my mom, Ginger. I'm so very grateful and blessed to have her as my mother. She's helped me in so many ways, and she lives in Idaho with her husband and, well, 3 children at home right now, but she has 6. And she's just been such an example to me, and I'm just so very blessed.
And this is Natalie, and she lives in Virginia with her husband and 2 kids. And I have been really grateful to have her as a daughter and the oldest to help me with her strengths and talents and skills. It's been a good combination for us in our relationship.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, like, one of the big reasons we're here. My mom has 3 learning disabilities. She has auditory processing disorder, ADHD, and dyslexia. And we spend a lot more time on that in other episodes. But learning disabilities shows up in lots of aspects of life and can add lots of flavor as you're trying to maybe raise a child with learning disabilities, let alone just trying to raise children in general. So lots of things can happen, either that you know about or don't as a mom. So for all of you mothers out there, we're sorry. Also, happy Mother's Day, Mom.
And happy Mother's Day to you.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead. You take the floor.
So I actually don't remember how this started. And actually, I have a note to myself to grab tissue because I'm a little nervous about how this might go. But I had the thought of how many Mother's Days have come and gone, where at the end of the day, it's like, that was a really sweet and wonderful Mother's Day. And then there's been other times where it's like, I'm so glad we don't have to do that for another year. I don't know, sometimes expectations or thinking about it too much. Anyway, so things were coming to my mind of things that I did. And so I asked my siblings if they wanted to participate, and you asked your siblings if they wanted to participate. And so I've just been calling these snippets, little snippets of 1 or 2 sentences of something that happened, and then to say, sorry, Mom. And so I'll just start out with one that was a popular one with my siblings sharing. I picked your favorite flower for you that you were trying to grow in our yard. Sorry, Mom. It was a tulip, and she was so happy that it was growing. And I so proudly picked it, and that was the end of that for that season.
She only had 1 flower that was growing?
I think so. One that came up, yeah. And I picked it. I was so proud of myself, too. They got a picture.
Oh, good. Because that was it. All right. Let's see what my siblings gave me. All of these are going to be shared anonymously. Well, I And so let's see if you can guess.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
I was constantly getting injured, and you had to take me to the hospital multiple times. Sorry, Mom.
I do know which I do know who that is. So glad you're okay. So glad. I took so much longer to potty train than the other kids. Sorry, Mom.
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Except for I remember one of the siblings, one of my siblings actually was a little bit older, and when being potty trained, and I had some friends over, and you were doing the no bottoms stage. And so you had them in an extra long shirt so that they could run around and not totally be flashing everybody. So we were all outside. And so my friend was in a Spanish class, and he was like, "Señor, nada pantalones." Mr. No Pants. I remember that.
I'm not sure if that technique worked really well, but
maybe with that one. That's how I've potty trained my two. And it definitely makes you aware. Everybody is aware of what's going on, maybe except for the child. They're just like, "Oh, I don't have clothes on today." Anyways, potty training is a trip. Thank you to all the moms out there who have spent the time on potty training your children. It is greatly appreciated.
for everyone.
Yes. I would take a big container of sugar and eat it in my brother's closet. Sorry, Mom.
White sugar or brown sugar?
They didn't say. There was no other details given. I don't know if a whole spoon was taken to it with it or just handfuls. They brought something to sprinkle it on top. I don't know.
I fishtailed the car on our gravel road and ended up getting the car stuck on the neighbor's fence. Sorry, Mom. The fire. I think the fire department came. I think a tow truck had to come. It was a big thing.
Wow.
And there were horses on the other side of the fence, and so they had to be careful, navigate that. Anyway,
I'm not sure everybody can relate to that one. And that's okay. You ready? I would go outside and play in the dirt and eat some while I was out there, and then I'd come in for dinner and complain about the food.
Maybe it was more spicy and flavorful. That doesn't surprise me.
To all you moms out there, now you know why your kids are complaining about dinner. They're full.
I went into your closed bedroom at Christmas time and saw all of the unwrapped gifts laid out on your bed with everyone's name next to them. Sorry, Mom.
And then did they proceed to go out and tell everybody, hey,
that wasn't divulged, but actually I don't think that only happened one time with one of my siblings. I think that happened probably more than once.
So much time and effort goes into planning for the holidays. And yet, I was always getting dirty and muddy outside and didn't want to clean off before coming in the house. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry I worried you, but the ragged-looking stranger living on the steps of the San Francisco Public Library was really interesting for a little kid to talk to. Sorry, Mom. Right? Because it's not even just that one specific instance. It's then your mom brain goes into all the different potential what if. Yeah.
Yuck. We love people.
Also. We do. It's just our brains get real creative and run off.
Protect the children. So there's so many times where I'm like, oh, like, I should be doing more to help people. I'm like, I have kids. Like, I will protect my children first.
Assessing the situation appropriately and navigating appropriate boundaries. You got to draw the line somewhere so that you stay sane, and especially if you have a runner. I've had a runner. A toddler runner makes it hard. Makes it really, really tricky to do anything.
I've not been blessed with one of those yet. But we do already have a leash. I think we only used it one time because No, I think it was just like more for fun. We were going up to DC, and our friends had one for theirs, and so it was like, oh, you guys can match. but our kid doesn't want to leave
out of it.
Yeah. I whined all the time. A sibling would start it, but I didn't have to make a big deal about it. Sorry, Mom.
That luckily I've blocked that was a hard one for me. That was
whining.
Made it tricky to navigate.
I know. I'm in that stage. I'm like, aha. I'm just like, you just stop, please. Just like, we're 5 o'clock today. I can't take it anymore. I know you're not going to eat the food that I make you. Does it stop? Does the whining stop?
I feel like there's a certain age and or personality where it can be more prevalent, but I've come across adults that, like, out in the wild, out in public, that still whine. And so just to say, does it stop in and of itself on its own? No, I think most kind of outgrow it in some form, in some way, but it could still stay there. I remember really looking into that, really talking to other moms and researching to figure out what to do. And I don't remember specifically. I want to say it's like with most things that I did, that I went around a different way to navigate it, because yeah, reacting directly in the moment to the whining would just make it worse and maybe even amplify it. And because a lot of times attention, if a child is doing something for attention and they do the thing and they get attention, then okay, but then on the other hand, every time a kid is doing something for attention means they need attention. And so
Right. Negative attention is still attention. So if they're getting
right.
negative attention, it counts. But they're
Right.
whining because they need attention. So it might as well be positive.
It's just, I mean, how much of this really is training us? Because kids are kids. Like they're just going to be them. And so really what I've learned for me anyway, that the training has been me, that I need to learn things and how to navigate. And because one of my biggest learning experiences with one of my kids was I didn't know how to parent them in the way that they needed. And that was frustrating for me because they don't, I mean, maybe some people don't know this, but they don't come the same. You're like, yay, you get one thing figured out with one and you're like, woohoo. And then the next one comes, you're like, well, this is completely different.
Every child is different?
And I gotta start this all over again. Okay, but actually that because I've had people ask me when they find out you have 6 kids, it's like, oh my goodness. But talking to other moms with more than 1 or 2 kids that and I had a friend where we lived somewhere else that had 12 kids. And so doing my little survey of saying, okay, what, how many is too many, or with each one, and you don't, it's, what I found is it's between 2 or 3 children that's where the, well, I mean, the first one, of course, because going
life-changing.
Let me back up. Going from 0 kids to 1 kid is the biggest adjustment. Let me clarify. But I feel like depending on the couple's personality and the children's personalities and how far apart in age, that having the second child or having the third child is the biggest, like, next step adjustment. And then after that, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, then then it's just like, okay, it's just one more. And so it's not that big of a jump every single time. So basically, once they outnumber you, then then it doesn't matter how many. 3, 7, 12, like whatever. It doesn't really really matter. But then you and I listened to that book,
Birth Order?
Birth Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was it by Taylor Hartman who does
I don't know.
the color code? Or no, Kevin. I don't remember.
I don't know. I remember it's called The Birth Order.
It is called The Birth Order, and it's good. So is it my turn to, because I want to actually look that up while you're reading the next one, but is it my turn to read the next one?
I don't know. I have a lot, so I can read another one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I got a ride home with someone else, even though you were the one who dropped me off and was the one who would usually take me home, and you didn't know where I was. Sorry, Mom.
And that was before cell phones, probably.
It was before cell phones. This one was me, and I do still feel so terrible about that. Because it was like a 20-30 minute drive to whatever practice that I had. And then it's an hour-long practice. So you do the math. It doesn't make sense to drive all the way home. So you would sit in the parking lot and wait for me with however many kids there were at the time. But for whatever reason that had happened that day, you would come in and you were watching in the auditorium with all the kids. Then the kids must have gotten like rambunctious and stuff. So you took them out.
Do you remember what? Because I'm not remembering actually. So
choir, and I was probably 3rd or 4th grade. Yeah. I had seen you. I'd seen that you were watching me, and but then I watched you walk out of the room with all the kids, and whatever happened in my brain, I thought that you like left, that you like drove home with all the kids. And I didn't panic in my 8-9-year-old brain, 9-10. And I was just like, oh, who could I get a ride with? Because that's what you drilled into us, is that we always need to get a ride somewhere. Like, who are you getting a ride with? And so my friend was also in the choir. And so I asked her afterwards, I was like, hey, my mom's not here. Can you give me a ride home? And so they said, sure. Because I was on the way back to their house. So they dropped me off. And then the house was kind of quiet. And then Dad was the only one home. And he was like, and I was like, hey, is Mom here? He's like, didn't she bring you home? And I was like, no. And he was like, what? Yeah.
Okay, so actually, now that you're saying it, I do remember. I do remember what it was, and I just, yeah. So all said and done, and especially now, I'm thinking that is so awesome that you, I don't know, went through that and didn't freak out and made things happen. And that is what I taught you. And anyway, so but yeah, in the moment, just to, do I leave, go home, but then what if she's actually here, and who else to talk to make sure, did she actually go with someone else? And so I'm trying to remember if I waited and tried to go back in and use a phone, or, and then, yeah, try to navigate. Cause I think, yeah, I'm trying, depending on the ages, if one of mine was a runner at that time.
Oh.
And this, when you do the football hold and you just tuck them under and they're dangling out the front and the back, and you just got to tuck them in, even upside down. You're like, you're staying with me right now. I don't have time for this.
It's slightly more acceptable other times. Gosh.
Okay, but isn't that a big part of it, is that so much of the life lessons that we take with us, that we're like, yes, I remember this, of how to navigate life moving forward in the moment, can be hard to navigate at the time, because but that's how then our brains remember it, because it wasn't just another regular day. Well, here we go.
Here we are.
Oh, but I did look up, and the name is different, so I'm glad I looked it up. Kevin Leman, Leman, the Birth Order book. And we listened to that audiobook on our trips the summer before your senior year. And I remember looking over at you at different times because, I mean, he shares the good, the bad, the ugly, the
Oh,
where it can be a benefit blessing, but also, maybe blind spot struggle. And so I kept looking over to you, see how you were doing, and your mouth was dropped open more than a few times where you're like, what?
that
How does he know this?
yes, that book I remember specifically opened my eyes to my perfectionism. That perfectionism is a vice of oldest children specifically, probably only children as well, but because only children can be a lot of similarities in oldest children, but they're their own breed. Um, and thank goodness that it did, because perfectionism sounds good on the outside and be like, well, why wouldn't you want to be perfect? No, it tears you apart from the inside of beating yourself up over not getting things 110%. And so to be able to slowly learn that since then, and I'm so much more well balanced and able to give myself grace and say, you know what, like whatever I have done is better than doing nothing, and we're going to move on to something else.
Well, and the thing for me, I guess, and I'm not an oldest child, and I don't know if I've ever said the size of family I came from.
I don't think you did.
Anyway, I'm in a middle child of 8, and so I was not an oldest child. And so, oh, it's slipping. Perfectionism. Oh, but to take whatever thing that we're feeling insecure about, or that, oh, this is something I have a tendency towards, and instead of trying to bury it or hide it or pretend that it's not there, to admit and accept and say, okay, how can I flip this or turn this or adjust or make adjustments to have this be a benefit? Because and for me personally, it has not worked at all to try to deny or refuse or pretend that it doesn't exist, whatever I'm dealing with. Put your head in the sand. It doesn't. And so accepting to say, okay, this is what it is. How can we put sprinkles on it now?
And so with
Ta-da.
like ADHD, that's why it can be, or auditory processing disorder or whatever, that's why it can feel like such a struggle, because it's the unknown and you're just like, well, I'm just struggling and everybody else seems to be able to do this, so like I should just be able to do it. And so, but it's because, or if you're in denial, it's because you're not recognizing that I do have this other thing, and that's okay. And having to go through that process of acceptance and recognizing it and learning, and okay, what does this look like and how do I help it? And just even like acknowledging that it's there and naming it can be so helpful. I want to go actually then talking about this. So how can we put sprinkles on top? I was such an emotional kid. It's hard to be so powerless with such potent emotions. Sorry, Mom.
Wait, read that again?
I was such an emotional kid. It's hard to be so powerless with such potent emotions. Sorry, Mom.
No, I don't know who that is. and not knowing who that is, then then I feel like I missed out on being able to give them what they needed.
What would you tell them now?
That I love you and that you weren't wrong. Um and it's hard to deal with people who aren't understanding, especially when they're adults and especially when they're the ones that are supposed to have your back and support you. It's hard to struggle alone. And that would have been awesome if you had somebody who you felt you could go to and talk to.
And I want to add that having big emotions isn't wrong. That is not something that you have to apologize for. It's okay that you connect with the world emotionally. It is hard to be powerless when to feel like you have no decision making, and it's hard to be part of a big family. There's and we're all on this earth together, and we're all kind of a big family, and we're all trying to just figure it out and learn how to get along together. And the being in a big family can feel like a big world when you're small, and so it can feel like you can get lost sometimes.
Also, just that I am doing better now. And so if I know that would be a lot, like really, really vulnerable to reach out, but that I have learned a lot and doing so much better now. And so if you want to reach out and talk about things, I'm totally fine with that. I'm open to be accepting of what happened or what didn't happen or what you needed or what you need now. That I like to learn. And sometimes learning is hard. And so I want to be open to that.
Yeah. Because as you brought up, that motherhood is continuing to teach us even as adults. So we learn so much as children and adolescents, and then we have kids, and to be able to train us to become better people, and that like you're a different mom now to the siblings who are still at home than you were to me when you first had me. And that is such a good thing to continue to grow and progress as a mom. So thank you so much to all you moms out there who continue to grow and progress and do what you do and become better mothers for your children and walk with them through the different stages of life.
Yeah. Is it my turn to read one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry we kept honking the car's horn so much while you were in the grocery store, but you were in the store for like 3 years and we were really, really bored and really, really hungry. Sorry, Mom.
Oh no. You don't always want to take them in the store with you because then they're going to cause a ruckus. And then you learn that you can't leave them out in the car.
Oh, okay. It's not like I know who wrote that one. And so it's not like this was 10 years ago. Like it was a really, really long time ago, and we were older.
What?
So it's it's not like leaving a 2-year-old in the car. That's not what happened. It was.
No, I was picturing like 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds are kind of that age where you can kind of, but if they were teenagers. Just makes me mad. I'm not there yet. I guess I'll just wave. Great to everybody else. All right. I would stay in my room if I knew you would give me a chore when I walked out.
And that's not just one of my kids. I know that. I can tell you that right now. What? I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, it's not just one of us. That probably applies to all of us.
Okay, but I wasn't good about keeping an ongoing chore chart of, okay, this is your job and this is your assignment. It was a lot of times in the moment, and
it was a tornado clean. And so I'd be, because I also am one of those. And so I'd see how long I'd start to get hungry, but I was like, I can't go out yet. So I'd see how long I could last before I absolutely was starving, so that I stayed in my room. But by that time, you'd usually cooled off, and so it was safe.
Okay, but the problem is I didn't know how to delegate. And again, this falls in big time huge with learning disability struggles, is that it's all I can do to try to manage myself and my time and what I'm doing. And so that if I'm trying to stay on task and then try to instruct and teach and say, okay, you need to do this part and you need to be doing that part, that I can't do that. And to say, okay, well, that's what charts are for. And so this person does this and this. All that does is it makes me think that that's no longer on my to-do list, and so I don't have to worry about it. But kids are kids. And so that would make it worse, because then it wouldn't be on my to-do list. It wouldn't be keep nagging me. And so then it wouldn't happen at all, because I couldn't remember to remind somebody and help instruct. And so.
And then kids don't want to clean.
Yeah. So it was one of the biggest messes of of parenting for me on my end. And so looking back now of, okay, I could have asked for help from a friend, because I did that with preschool. I would get together with friends, and whoever was a preschool age at the time, we would do little kind of preschool things and then have a playtime and then mom visit time. And that worked out really, really well. And so if I would have done, okay, let's do the same thing with cleaning, to, okay, on this day, we go to your house, and on that day we go to my house, and especially in the summertime, and do cleaning. That would have been awesome. You know, if I could go back in time, that's what I would have implemented. And I have some friends in mind that I could have been able to do that with, and that would have worked and been awesome. And
that could have been good for the kids too. Like, hey, we're gonna like go clean their house, and then it becomes because I know one of our struggles is we like, as for us kids, is we'd then like go and like do service for other people. We would stand around and we wouldn't know what to do. And so to then get in the habit of going into somebody else's space and helping them like clean up as well, and learning how to clean up in an environment that you're not used to, as a help and a service, to then like hop in more readily and more comfortably into stepping into somebody else's space like that. Is it your turn? Nothing.
I think it's mine.
Yeah, it is.
All my siblings and I were watching TV, and you came into the room and asked me exclusively to take out the trash. I grumbled and complained as I walked to the kitchen to take out the trash, and I was still complaining about it being unfair when I came back in the house. Sorry, Mom. And there's actually another part when we get to the next that goes with that same story. So hold on to that one in your brain for a bit.
Let's see, where am I? I would hide all of my homework and say I did it so I could go play with friends. Sorry, Mom.
And I'm wondering if this wasn't just only one child either. Because I can think of 2, if not 3, right off the top of my head that maybe were potential.
You know it wasn't me, so.
Yes, I do know it wasn't you. No, that was the opposite, where it was like, can we please go to bed? You're fine. You've got an A. Like, there's no grade above an A. Let's just go to bed.
Yeah, that was me. Do you still have some? Or was that it?
That was it for me.
That was it. Okay. I'll do just a few last more, and then we'll move on to the last section. While walking to or from school with my friends, I would pee in the neighbor's hedge with them.
I'm going to assume that wasn't one of the girls. Actually, I do have one more that I can put in. For Mother's Day, we made you breakfast in bed, but we couldn't use any heating, cooking devices. Yeah. And so it was plain white bread with an insane amount of butter and sprinkles. And then we wanted to stay and watch you eat it. But you would take one bite, and then Dad would shoo us out and say, okay, Mom's gonna get ready for the day. Sorry, Mom.
You know, I could see some people being like, what's the problem with that? Why is that an issue? It's not everybody's taste. I lied about practicing my instrument. Sorry, Mom. I was such a pain when we got ready for church. Sorry, Mom.
Starting the day before. What's today? Is tomorrow Sunday?
I would sneak out, borrow the car, and drive hours away in the middle of the night. Sorry, Mom. And I would give you last minute warnings before I needed to be picked up from a game, school,
Yeah. That was not just one kid.
the airport. Sorry, Mom. Okay, that's all I got. Now we'd like to shift just a little bit and give more thank yous, give more heartfelt I love yous. Looks like we have 10 minutes, so we have time for closing.
Okay, so we're gonna go through these really quick, right?
Probably a bit faster, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so to go along with the previous one about being asked to, everybody's watching TV.
Oh.
And the one kid was singled out about taking out the trash. So, Mom, when I came back into the house and was still complaining about how unfair it was about having to be singled out to take out the trash, you grabbed me by my face and said that you asked me because I would do it. And then you kissed me on the forehead. I love you.
Oh. There's so much in there. Mom, thank you for being an incredible example of kindness, patience, charity, unconditional love, sympathy, empathy, communication, and laughter. It has shaped me into the person I am today and who I want to be in the future. I love you.
Well, this is going to be a mess here. Mom, thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone and playing tackle football with the other moms when I was in Pee Wee football and showing me how awesome you were. I love you.
Oh, I can't even imagine my grandma doing that.
We'll have to pull out the pictures to show you.
Mom, thank you for cooking me omelets and pancakes in the early morning before school. I love you.
Mom, I found where you kept things that each of us kids made and what we each liked, and notes about our milestones. It showed me how much you loved and cared for and thought about each of us. I love you.
It's saying a lot since she had 8 kids. Usually you stop around number 2. Mom, thank you for helping me understand people. I love you.
Mom, when we'd be out shopping and you'd see something and say, ooh, so-and-so would love this, and then stop for a bit and seriously contemplate about whether or not to get it for them, it helped me realize just how much you loved each of us. I love you.
Mom, thank you for pushing me to be better, even if I made it difficult, whether it was in school, music, and as a person in general. I love you.
Mom, when I hear your deep, hard belly laugh, especially when it's been from something that I have said, I feel loved. I love you.
My 4-year-old is definitely in that stage where he's like, oh, was that funny? I made you laugh. Mom, thank you for organizing your day and activities to make yourself easily approachable so I could share things with you. I love you.
Mom, your gentle pat and touch on my back helps me feel like you're proud of me and happy that I'm there. I love you.
Do you have more? Or
I have 2 more.
2 more. Me too. Okay. Mom, thank you for making treats and bringing them to share with my teammates. I love you.
Mom, any problem we have asked advice for or told our situation in life, it stayed in your mind so that when any helpful advice or tips come along, and you pass it along to us. I love you.
Mom, thank you for listening. I love you.
Mom, I love to dance, and you signed me up for lessons and gave me rides. I love you.
I don't know if we're going to be able to say much other than thank you for all the moms out there. We've only been able to touch on a few aspects of motherhood within this past hour. And moms are incredible, and you all do so much. And we see you, and we know that you're trying. And it's hard. And you're still just trying to learn and grow as your own person and figure out who you are. And you're doing great.
You're doing awesome, everyone.
I know you have our closing today.
As far as talking about a giveaway, I don't have the items that I was going to show. I want to do a giveaway. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
That is yet to be seen.
It's going to happen. But I have zero details of it. But here's where just keep moving forward with the next step. And I'm not going to wait until everything is all lined up. And so I'm going to make it happen. And I still wanted to let everyone know. Have a little blank notebook journal that some artwork is being done on the cover. It's lavender, and there's going to be a little pen holder fabric bookmark elastic that will go around it that can keep the pen with the notebook. And that's going to be out of some purple flower fabric. And there's going to be some stickers in there. And we're setting up a Facebook group, which isn't fully all the way. And at this point, I'm keeping it private not to say that not everyone's welcome, but sometimes if it's just an open group, then everybody can come in and out, and I want it to feel a little more cozy and personal, and so you'll need to ask to be invited in and answer some questions, but that's just to make sure we're, I don't know, keeping it as safe as, anyway.
As safe as
I don't know how to explain it, but
yes. Well, and since this is our special Mother's Day episode, we will have more details on the giveaway for our next episode.
Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you all for joining us. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.